Hey guys, what's up? My name's Angelo, and thank you so much for tuning in. This week, I just want to go over another 4 games that I've been playing lately that I really think are worth checking out. Just a minor correction to last week's video. Geometric Interactive is the developer of Cocoon and not Playdead Studios. That being said, let's get right into our list of games. Recommendation: Super Lucky's Tale doesn't really get talked much about, even though it had a Switch port. This game is, you can sum it up to saying, and it doesn't do it any justice. I mean this, but you can kind of say it's like Xbox's solution to having a 3D platformer um, on the platform for Game Pass. It's really well made 3D platformer, I guess, similar to something like Mario 3D World, with the exception of like no multiplayer. As a single player game, I think it's a nice time. It's nothing complicated. You're gonna get your time's worth, especially if you got Game Pass on this. Um, the new Super Lucky Tale, it has all of the DLC from like the original release. Again, if you're into the collectathon stuff from like Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, like the originals, and you really want something like that scratches that need, but you really want like a high quality produced game, new Super Lucky's Tale gets a recommendation from me. Game, the Gators game, it's such a simple idea, and it's such an innocent game. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but it's so pleasant and such a relaxing time to play. So you're basically playing as like this gator. um, Everyone's an animal in this world. You don't need to explain that. Everyone's an animal, and you play as like this gator child, again, like a little kid whose sister is visiting from university or college or something, and he really wants to get his sister's attention, so he rigged like the whole island to be almost like a Zelda kind of game, like a Zelda style adventure, I guess, if you were to say that. And the whole point of the game is like you're trying to get your sister's attention by completing the objectives yourself, and it's quite mature with the way that it approaches its subject matter, which is like, coming to terms with getting older, embracing change, and that's probably what resonates with me the most in this game, is the themes. And again, the general gameplay is relatively simple. It's not like addicting in a sense, but I guess what really hooks me is the story. It's just a very competently, very well made game. Another crab's treasure. There's no way of saying it. It's Dark Souls, but in crab form. This game is extremely challenging. Knock it off as just a kid's game. It is, in a way, like, aesthetically, you could say it is a kid's game, but It's challenging, man. Like, if you're into that kind of gameplay where it's like one hit death type thing, or games where you level up like your character, you acquire the whole point of this game. The story behind this game is you play as a crab. You get your shell stolen by the shark mafia, I think it was, basically like the shark mafia, because you didn't make your payment, and you travel to the sea or the ocean to try to find your shell. Hands, waste, other random objects you find in the sea as shells, and each thing you pick up has its own stats, and it even gets even more complicated from there. Like, you can pick up items that equip you, you can equip during battle. You have like this magic sort of element where it's just insane. Like, I think still playing through this game, I can't really speak to the full and game in its entirety, but it has me hooked enough to at least mention it on this channel. So I think it's really worth checking out. Go Mecha Ball. Go Mecha Ball. I didn't see a lot of people talk about this one, but my god, is it a time, like, you will lose time in this game. It will just fly by. This game is like my go-to whenever I don't know what to play. Basically, you're playing as like I can't even explain the story. I'll be honest with you. The gameplay itself is the hook. Here, you're not playing for the story, but there is a story to it. I couldn't even tell you for the life of me what it is. I'll explain the game though. The game is, you're this little dude. You go into a ball, and you start off with like a basic gun. And the entire premise of the game is every stage you go to requires you to wipe all the enemies on the floor. As you continue to wipe enemies, they drop new weapons, they drop a lot of loot, which you can then use to buy upgrades, you can use to purchase new weapons. Every time you do a new run, it's always a different enemy placement. I forget what the term is, but I'll drop it somewhere here. And again, the entire point of the game is to play through the first level of difficulty, then you get a new level of difficulty, and then I'm still getting through that second level. I haven't even seen the end game. There are tons and tons of weapons in this. 1 minute you think, I'm gonna use this thing like shaped like a duck, and that's gonna be my go-to, and then you find a laser beam that just freaking destroys everyone in like a single hit, and then you find like another gun that just shoots discs and explodes on impact, and it's like it's so, and then there's power-ups too, complementing the guns that you pick up. You also get power-ups like the ability to spin. You can drop mines, you can do an explosion, you can do an explosion in the air and then come crashing down on your enemies. And I think one of my favorite aspects of the game is the bosses. They're really challenging. It's kind of like Spelunky, which gets another mention here, but not part of Game Pass, where your success will really vary on two things: your skill and the items you pick up. And every time you die, you have to start a new run, you lose all your upgrades. But again, you unlock new mechs. And that's the loop. You just keep playing and playing, and you're rewarding experience. So highly recommend this one. That's one of the games that I've been playing lately, and I really believe that it deserves a mention. I haven't seen it talked anywhere, but mentioning it here. So if that interests you, go check it out. And so, guys, that completes my list of the past 4 games that I've been playing this weekend on Xbox Game Pass. Curious to hear what kind of games you guys have been playing. Take care, may God bless you, keep you safe, and happy gaming.